Auntie, please help me. Maggots are coming out of my private parts. What did you do, Safira? I don't know, Auntie. I woke up and I find myself like this. Safira, I have warned you, but you didn't listen. I told you the lifestyle you are living will one day destroy you.
Safira was the only child of her parents. They live in the village of Udenta. Her parents pampered her so much, anything she asked her father would give it to her. Her parents loved her so much that they never saw her wrongdoings. Every morning, when other children were leaving their homes to school, Safira will sleep in bed, refusing to wake up. Her mother will try to persuade her to stand up and prepare for school, but she will say, "I don't want to go to school today, Mama. I just want to sleep." Her father, hearing this from the other room, will say, "Leave her to sleep," and that's how school will go on without Safira. In the village, Safira was rude to everyone, including the elders. She walked past them without greetings. Rumor has it that she once pushed an old woman to the ground for stepping on her at the village market. At the stream, she was always in the middle of a fight, and she will always be the first to break people's water pots. When parents in the village report the matter to her father will just wave and say she's just a child. He will remove the money and pay for their broken pots. He never cautioned Safira or corrected her. Safira continues with her behavior until one morning, tragedy struck. Her father was climbing a palm tree to tap palm wine. He missed his step and fell. He was rushed to the village herbalist, and they tried everything they could, but the herbalist could not cure him. He passed away in the evening. The family mourns him for days, especially Safira, who was closer to her father. Safira cried louder than everyone in the compound. She threw herself on the dusty ground. "Papa! Papa! Don't leave me!" she screamed. But the dead do not answer the cries of the living. The villagers gathered around the compound, whispering among themselves. Some shook their heads. Slowly, an old woman, Mama Ebere, leaned on her walking stick and sighed. This child, if only her father had corrected her when he was alive. But Safira's mother was too broken to hear anything. Days turned into weeks. The house that used to be full of laughter slowly became quiet. Without her father's money, things began to change. Feeding was a problem. Sometimes they managed to eat 1 square meal a day. The wrappers Safira used to wear became old. Her mother started going to the farm very early in the morning just to feed them. She will ask Safira to join her at the farm, but she will refuse. She refused to help her mother with the house chores. She was always seen gallivanting at the village square like she owned the village. She still insulted people. She still refused to greet elders. Sometimes she would leave the house in the morning and return at night. Her mother will question her, but she will push her and walk inside. The villagers began to shake their heads whenever they saw her. One evening, Mama Ebere called her. "Safira, my daughter, come here." Safira stopped and looked at the old woman with irritation. "What is it again?" The old woman sighed. "Your father is no longer alive to cover your mistakes. Change your ways before the world teaches you a lesson you will never forget." Safira hissed loudly, "Old woman, mind your business." And she walked away without looking back. From that day, the villagers stopped advising her. They simply watched. Months passed. Safira began to make new friends, strangers who came from neighboring villages. They were older boys who loved drinking and roaming at night. They would gather behind the abandoned hut near the forest, laughing, drinking, dancing loudly. Safira loved the attention they gave her. For the first time since her father died, she felt important again. Her mother noticed the change. One night, when Safira returned home very late, her mother confronted her. Sapphira, where are you coming from at this time of the night? Sapphira rolled her eyes. Why are you asking me? Am I a child? Her mother's voice trembled. My daughter, please. The path you are taking is dangerous. But Sapphira pushed the door and entered the house. Leave me alone. That night, her mother sat beside her and advised her as a mother. My daughter, your father is not alive. We don't have anyone to help us again. Please go back to school. I will one day leave you as well. I want you to become a doctor. Sapphira rolled her eyes and said, Mama, school is not for me. I don't like schooling. But I know my future is bright and I will be rich and take care of myself. Sapphira stood up and walked inside to sleep. Her mother sat outside for a while, lost in thought. She finally made a decision. She would send Sapphira to live with her sister in town and learn a trade since she refused to go to school. 2 weeks later, Sapphira and her mother boarded a bus to the city. The journey was long. Dust from the road blew into the bus windows as the passengers struggled to breathe. Sapphira sat by the window chewing groundnuts and looking outside carelessly. Her mother kept glancing at her from time to time. Sometimes she would open her mouth as if she wanted to say something, but she would close it again. The bus finally entered the busy town in the late afternoon. Cars were honking everywhere. Motorcycles passed quickly between vehicles. Sapphira had never seen a place this crowded before. Her eyes widened. So this is the city? She muttered quietly. Her mother held her hand. Remember why you are here. Your auntie will teach you how to sew. If you learn well, your future will be good. Sapphira shrugged. We will see. They finally arrived in front of a small compound where her mother's sister lived. The gate was rusty, but the compound was clean. Her auntie, Auntie Ngozi, was sitting outside under a mango tree cutting pieces of fabric. She raised her head when she saw them. Ah, my sister, you have come. The two women hugged tightly. After the greetings, her auntie turned and looked at Sapphira from head to toe. So this is Sapphira? Her mother nodded slowly. Yes, she is now under your care. Auntie Ngozi looked at Sapphira carefully. Her eyes were sharp, like someone who had seen many things in life. My daughter, she said calmly, this town is not like your village. Here, if you choose the wrong road, the consequences will follow you quickly. Sapphira said nothing. She simply looked away and kicked a small stone on the ground. Her mother sighed deeply. That evening, they ate together quietly. The next morning, Sapphira's mother prepared to return to the village. She hugged her daughter tightly. My child, please listen to your auntie. Learn something useful with your life. Sapphira nodded carelessly. I heard you, Mama. Her mother boarded a bus and left. As the bus disappeared down the road, Sapphira stood by the gate, watching silently. For the first time since leaving the village, she felt a strange emptiness inside her. But instead of thinking deeply about it, Sapphira turned and walked back into the compound. The city life was just beginning. Auntie Ngozi was a strict woman who owned a small hair salon in the busy market. From the first day Sapphira arrived, she noticed things were different. There was no pampering, no one to defend her. Auntie Ngozi woke up before sunrise every morning, and Sapphira had to wake up too. Stand up, Auntie Ngozi would shout. In this house, everybody works. But Sapphira hated the life. She hated sweeping the compound. She hated fetching water. She hated standing in the salon watching customers braid their hair. Many times, she tried to sneak out to roam the town, but Auntie Ngozi always found out. You think this is your father's house? She would scold. Still, Sapphira refused to change. In the evenings, she began to sneak out secretly. Behind the market, there was a small beer parlor where young boys gathered. That was where Safiera found new friends again. They bought her drinks. They praised her beauty. They told her she was too beautiful to be working in a salon. Slowly, Safiera started returning home very late again, sometimes past midnight. One night, Auntie Ngozi caught her sneaking in. "Safiera!" she shouted. Safiera froze. "Where are you coming from?" Safiera folded her arms. Without saying a word, Auntie Ngozi's face hardened. "Listen to me carefully. The life you are chasing will destroy you." But Safiera only laughed. The warnings meant nothing to her. Auntie Ngozi continued, "You refuse to go to school and everything to learn a trade you don't want. What exactly do you want with your life?" Safiera replied confidently, "Auntie, I know my future is bright. I will marry a rich man and you all will see." Weeks passed, then months. Safiera became popular among the boys around the market. One day, Safiera met a young man on her way to her aunt's shop. She met a young man standing by the roadside, looking confused. He stopped and asked for directions. Safiera directed him. After that, the young man collected her number and promised to call her. That evening, when Safiera came back home, she could not sleep. She waited for the young man to call. She turned from one side of the bed to the other. Every small vibration of her phone made her heart jump. She told herself quietly, "I have met the man who will change my life. He is not just handsome, he is rich as well." 3 days later, she received a call from an unknown number. When she asked who the person was, he introduced himself. "Hello, Safiera. This is Ken, the young man you met the other day." Safiera was so excited she jumped up from the bed. Her heart began to beat fast. Ken asked her for a date, and she quickly agreed without thinking. That evening, when she dressed up to see Ken, her aunt stopped her at the door. "Safiera, where are you going?" "Auntie, I am going to see my husband-to-be." "Which husband, Safiera? You have to be careful. This is not the village you know." Safiera rolled her eyes. "I am not a child aunt. I am 20 years old. I can take care of myself." She went out with Ken. They went clothes shopping. Ken bought her beautiful dresses and expensive shoes. He also bought her a brand new iPhone. Safiera could not believe it. Ken kept smiling at her. "You are a very special woman, Safiera. I loved you the first day I saw you. My dream is to marry a beautiful woman like you." Those words melted her heart. Later that evening, he dropped her at home. Before she stepped down from the car, he handed her some money. "Take this and buy anything you like." Safiera looked at the money in shock. She had never held that much money before. She ran inside the compound excited. She showed Auntie Ngozi everything. The clothes, the phone, the money. Auntie Ngozi looked at everything quietly. She was not excited, but she forced a small smile. "My daughter, this kind of thing is rare to come by, but still be careful with this guy." Safiera waved her hand dismissively. "There is nothing to worry about, Auntie." That night, Safiera called her mother proudly. "Mama, Mama, you people said I will not achieve anything in life. See me now. I have an iPhone now. Mama, send your account number. I will send you some money." Her mother was quiet for a moment on the phone. "My daughter, be careful. Not everything that shines is gold." But Safiera had already ended the call. The next morning, Auntie Ngozi woke up early as usual. "Safiera, wake up. We are going to the shop." But Safiera refused. "Auntie, I am too big to work in a salon now." She turned to the other side of the bed and continued pressing her new phone. Auntie Ngozi looked at her for a long time, but she said nothing. She quietly carried her bag and left for the market alone. Sapphira remained at home, chatting with Ken all day, from morning till night. Ken continued to shower her with gifts and money. Every few days, he would come pick her up in his car. Sometimes they would go to expensive restaurants. Sometimes they would go to nightclubs in the city. Sapphira began to live a life she had only imagined before. New clothes, new phone, money in her bag. She began to walk around the market with pride. Even the girls who used to laugh at her now looked at her with envy. Sapphira stopped helping her aunt completely. She stopped going to the salon. She stopped doing chores. All she did was wait for Ken's calls. One evening, Auntie Ngozi called her and asked her to sit down. She said, "Sapphira, I know you love this Ken, but I am still telling you to be careful. My spirit does not accept this Ken. I am still insisting stay away from this guy." Sapphira frowned immediately. "Auntie, I know now that you don't like my progress. You are jealous because at your age no man has come for you and you don't have a husband." Her aunt's eyes widened in shock. Before Sapphira could say another word, slap. The sound echoed in the compound. Auntie Ngozi had slapped her hard across the face. "You are rude and disrespectful," she shouted. "You don't know my story." Sapphira held her cheek angrily. "You know what? I am leaving your house. I have been managing this dirty, stinky house of yours. Ken has a beautiful place. I will move in with him." Auntie Ngozi suddenly became worried. If Sapphira left, what would she tell her sister? Her sister trusted her to take care of the girl. She begged her, "Sapphira, please calm down. Think about what you are doing." But Sapphira had already made up her mind.